From the sandy deserts of ancient Egypt to the dense jungles of Central America, from the dark caves of Europe to the depths of the sea, human history is full of mysteries. Today, we will explore 6 artifacts that not only change the way we perceive the past, but also make the greatest minds of archaeology and science freeze because of their incomprehensibility. Get ready for an adventure back in time to the masterpieces of the ancients that even today we still cannot fully explain. Imagine, in a time when the world was still vague about electricity, there was no concept of electric current or energy-powered motors. There was an ancient civilization that possessed a device capable of generating electricity. Sounds like a science fiction story, right? But the next artifact will make you think again, and may completely change the way we perceive the technological level of our ancestors. It all started in 1938, in Kujut Rabu, a small village near Baghdad, Iraq. While conducting archaeological excavations in an ancient settlement, German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig stumbled upon an extremely strange object. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary ceramic vase, but upon closer inspection, Koenig realized that this was not a simple vase. This artifact had a simple structure, but was surprisingly sophisticated. It is a clay pot, about 14 centimeters high and about 8 centimeters in diameter, fitting comfortably in the palm of the hand. The mouth of the pot is sealed with a bitumen plug, a natural pitch, very common in ancient Mesopotamia. What is special is inside. Through the bitumen plug is a fixed iron rod. This iron rod is cleverly placed inside a copper cylinder, but the copper tube does not directly contact the iron rod, but has a small gap in between. Scientists have found traces of corrosion and oxidation inside the copper tube and on the iron rod, suggesting that some liquid was once filled in this gap. Based on the archaeological context in which it was found, the Baghdad Battery is determined to date from the Parthian period, c. 250 BC, 224 AD, or the Sassanid period, 224 AD to 651 AD. That means it has been around for at least 1,500 years, and possibly more than 2,000 years. Soon after the discovery, Koenig came up with a bold but shocking hypothesis. This could be an ancient electrochemical battery. This idea was initially considered crazy by many scientists, but not long after, reproduction experiments proved otherwise. To test Koenig's hypothesis, many scientists and engineers conducted meticulous experiments. They created replicas of the ceramic jar, copper tube, iron rod, and asphalt stopper in exacting sizes and materials, and then filled the jars with acidic liquids common in the region and at that time, such as vinegar, wine, or lemon juice. The results were truly astonishing to experts. These replicas produced electricity. Although it was only a weak current, around 1.1 to 2 volts, it was clear evidence that the Baghdad Battery was capable of functioning as an electrochemical battery. It essentially worked like a galvanic cell or voltaic cell, where 2 different metals, copper and iron, were immersed in an electrolyte solution, an acidic liquid, creating a chemical reaction that released electrons and generated an electric current. The success of the replication experiments transformed the Baghdad Battery from a mysterious archaeological object into a living testament to the hidden technological level of ancient civilizations. It shows that the primitive knowledge of electricity may have existed long before, even thousands of years before, Alessandro Volta invented the modern battery in 1800. Although the Baghdad Battery's ability to generate electricity has been proven, the biggest question remains. What did the ancients use this weak 1 to 2 volt current for in a society that had never known light bulbs or electric motors? This is one of the most controversial and mysterious parts. The most popular hypothesis, electroplating. This hypothesis is supported by many scientists. With the weak current, the Parthians or Sassanids may have used the Baghdad Battery to plate gold, silver, or other precious metals onto cheaper metal items. The electroplating technique allowed the creation of jewelry, ceremonial objects, or magnificent decorations without spending too much precious metal. The discovery of some electroplating artifacts believed to be from the same period in Iraq further strengthens this hypothesis. Some researchers speculate that the Baghdad Battery may have been used for medicinal purposes, specifically in acupuncture or pain relief therapy. Ancient civilizations had some knowledge of medicine, and the use of mild electric shocks for treatment may not have been impossible. Another theory is that the Baghdad Battery may have been used in religious ceremonies or to create mystical effects. For example, it may have been used to light small religious objects or to create a magical feeling when touching a statue or object connected to the battery, causing a small electric shock to the person touching it. This may have been seen as a sign of divinity or supernatural power. The Baghdad Battery is more than just a mysterious artifact. It is a testament to how the history of human technology can be more complex and non-linear than we think. How did such an advanced technology become lost and forgotten over thousands of years? Was this knowledge limited to a small group of scientists, alchemists, or priests, and not widely disseminated? How many batteries similar to the Baghdad Battery exist? Or was it a unique, singular invention by some genius? The fact that only a few similar specimens have been found makes it difficult to determine how widespread and used the technology was. The Baghdad Battery remains one of the greatest mysteries in archaeology. Despite extensive research and reconstruction experiments, its exact purpose remains a matter of debate. However, one thing is certain. Its existence has opened up a heated debate and changed the way we perceive the intelligence and creativity of ancient civilizations. In 1912, Polish-American antiquarian book dealer Wilfrid Voynich acquired the book from a Jesuit monastery in Frascati, Italy. Voynich immediately recognized that this was an extraordinary object. The book was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was written in a completely unfamiliar, unrecognizable script. Before reaching Voynich, the book had passed through the hands of many famous scholars, alchemists, and mystery enthusiasts throughout European history. One of its most notable owners was Georg Beresch, a 17th-century Prague alchemist who sought the help of philologist Athanasius Kircher to decipher it. Kircher himself was unable to decipher it, and the book continued its journey through various private collections. Although no one knows exactly who wrote it, radiocarbon dating has yielded an important clue. The book was written sometime in the mid-15th century, around 1404 to 1438. This suggests that from the moment it appeared, the Voynich Manuscript was an unsolvable puzzle. The Voynich Manuscript is a small book, written on vellum, originally containing about 272 pages, but some pages have been lost, leaving about 240 as it stands today. What makes it special is not only the mysterious language, but also the strange and detailed illustrations, arranged in distinct sections, suggesting specialized content. Researchers often categorize the contents of the manuscript into 6 main sections based on the illustrations. Botanical section. This is the largest section, containing about 130 drawings of plants. The strange thing is that most of these plants do not exist in reality. They do not match any known plant species on Earth, leaving botanists puzzled. Astrology section. This section contains circular charts of the sun, moon, and stars, similar to astrological or astronomical charts, sometimes illustrated with small nude female figures. However, their arrangement and symbolism do not exactly match any known astronomical system. Biology section, perhaps the most bizarre and controversial section. This section illustrates small nude female figures, often depicted bathing in green pools or connected by a complex system of pipes, suggesting anatomy or biological processes in a completely atypical way. Cosmological section consists of large folded diagrams containing concentric circles, castles, and other abstract images, suggesting cosmology or complex patterns. Pharmacological section contains drawings of individual medicinal plants, which appear to be a bit more realistic than the botanical section, along with potions, vials, and what appear to be recipe-like details. Recipe section. This is the final section, consisting of short paragraphs marked with asterisks or flowers that may be recipes, instructions, or lists of ingredients. This section is less illustrated. The heart of the Voynich mystery lies in its writing system. The book is written entirely in an unrecognizable language, with characters and grammatical structures that do not match any known natural language, living or dead. This is why it has baffled countless cryptographers, linguists, and codebreakers for centuries. The strange features of the Voynich script include unique script. It uses a unique set of characters, not Latin, Greek, Arabic, or any other alphabet. Letter frequency. Frequency analysis shows that characters and character clusters appear in a consistent pattern, much like a natural language. However, some characters appear very frequently, while others are extremely rare. Word structure. Voynich words are relatively short in length and repeat quite often, but words rarely repeat 2 or 3 times in a row, which is not typical for simple cipher languages. The Voynich Manuscript is not just an academic enigma. It is also a symbol of incomprehension and mystery in human history. Its resistance to decipherment by the brightest minds has turned it into a giant bottleneck in the fields of linguistics and cryptography. There is no other book like the Voynich Manuscript. It is a work of art, a strange collection of images, a unique combination of elements with no obvious precedent. If it is a genuine book, the botanical, astronomical, medical, or biological information it contains could reveal previously unknown knowledge about ancient or medieval civilizations. To this day, the Voynich Manuscript remains one of the world's greatest mysteries. It is a reminder that history still holds many secrets that have yet to be deciphered. And perhaps these mysteries are the greatest motivation for us to continue exploring and learning. Will we one day be able to read these pages that have been silent for hundreds of years? From ancient tombs, we sometimes find not only bones or jewelry, but also incredibly strange items, whose function and meaning are still a big question mark for archaeologists. And these small but mysterious drums are a prime example of that puzzlement. First, let's explore this ancient artifact. We are talking about the mysterious drums, commonly known as the Folkton Drums, after the village where they were found. The story begins in 1889, in a small village called Folkton, in Yorkshire, England. During the excavation of an ancient burial mound, archaeologists found a child's grave. What was amazing was that inside the grave, people did not just find ordinary relics, but 3 unique cylindrical objects made of soft white limestone. Each of these objects is shaped like a small drum, with a heightened diameter of about 10 to 12 centimeters. What makes them special is that their surfaces are carved extremely elaborately and delicately, with symmetrical geometric motifs. These motifs include spirals, shapes, diamonds, circles, and dots arranged in a clear order. Several similar drums were later found at other sites in the area, but the 3 at Folkton remain the most famous and best preserved. Based on the archaeological context and accompanying artifacts, these drums were determined to date from the Neolithic period, around 3000 BC. That means they were more than 5,000 years old. This is the part that has experts scratching their heads. Despite being thoroughly studied for over a century, the purpose and meaning of these drums remains a mystery with no definitive answer. Although they were called drums, scientists quickly concluded that they were not musical instruments. The soft limestone and distinctive shape were not suitable for producing the sound of a drum. So, what were they used for? One of the hypotheses. The most popular theory is that these drums may have been measuring or calculating tools used in construction or planning activities. In particular, researchers have noted that the circumference of these drums may have been used to measure certain distances, or that the patterns on the surface may have been angular units of measurement. For example, some experts have suggested that they may have been used for measuring in the construction of large stone monuments, such as Stonehenge, or for locating circular structures, such as burial mounds. The precision of the patterns and their symmetry suggest a mathematical or geometrical purpose. Since they were found in the grave of a child, another theory is that these drums were ceremonial or religious objects. They may have been symbols of status, power, or related to prehistoric beliefs about life and death. The patterns on the surface may also have been cosmological symbols, related to celestial cycles, the movements of the sun, moon, or constellations. This is not impossible, as prehistoric people often had a deep knowledge of astronomy for agricultural and ceremonial purposes. A less accepted but interesting hypothesis is that they may have been children's toys or educational items to teach young children about shapes, numbers, or certain patterns. However, the sophistication and soft limestone materials seem to be inconsistent with such a simple purpose as a toy. The surprise and the impasse. Despite much debate, scientists have not been able to come to a final conclusion. There are no records or other evidence from the period to confirm either of these hypotheses. The lack of similar items with a clear purpose makes these drums one of the greatest mysteries about prehistoric life and technology in Britain. They show that we still have a lot to learn about the complexity of ancient societies. Great. These drums continue to be a symbol of curiosity and the desire to decipher the mysteries of the past. We cannot help but wonder, if these small items have caused so much controversy, how many greater secrets are waiting to be discovered underground? If the Baghdad Battery has left you amazed by ancient electricity, this next artifact will take the amazement to a whole new level. Get ready for evidence of a complex computer that dates back more than 2 millennia. In 1900, a group of Greek divers searching for sponges off the island of Antikythera stumbled upon an ancient Roman shipwreck. It was one of the most important underwater archaeological discoveries in history. Among the treasures they recovered, including magnificent bronze and marble statues, was an initially unimpressive object, a heavily corroded mass of bronze, caked with mud and algae. It wasn't until 1902 that archaeologist Valerio Stice realized that the mass was no ordinary rock or piece of debris. When it broke apart, it revealed a complex assembly of dozens of finely crafted bronze gears, along with ancient Greek dials and inscriptions. Since then, decades of intensive research using advanced technology, such as X-ray tomography and computer modeling, have 3D. Scientists were able to see through the corroded shell and reconstruct its shape and function. The Antikythera mechanism is approximately the size of a shoebox, about 33 centimeters by 18 centimeters by 9 centimeters. It contains at least 30 intricately linked bronze gears, with extremely precise numbers and ratios. The front and back of the device have detailed, engraved dials and scales. Based on other items found in the wreck, the Antikythera mechanism has been dated to around 150 to 100 BC, that is, over 2,100 years ago. This is what makes the Antikythera mechanism one of the most shocking artifacts. Its level of complexity and sophistication has led experts to exclaim that it far surpasses any known technological device from that period, and even similar inventions in centuries later. Extensive research has determined that the Antikythera mechanism was an extremely sophisticated analog computer. Its primary purpose was to predict the positions of celestial bodies in the sky and important astronomical events. It could simulate the motions of the Sun, Moon, and the 5 known planets of antiquity: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses with incredible accuracy. It displayed a lunar calendar, including lunar phases and other complex astronomical cycles. Another notable function was that it could calculate the calendars of major sporting events, such as the Olympic Games, the Pythian, Nemean, and Isthmian Games. What surprised experts was the precision of the design and construction of the gears. Its differential gear system was an extraordinary technical achievement that European watchmakers were not able to replicate until the 14th century AD, created similar mechanisms. Before the Antikythera mechanism was discovered, it was believed that such complex mechanical devices only appeared during the Renaissance. Although no inscriptions have been found, scientists believe that the device may have been built by a prominent Greek scientist or engineer. Some suggested names include Archimedes or Hipparchus, a prominent astronomer who lived around that time. The existence of such a complex device suggests that ancient Greece was not only a cradle of philosophy and art, but also a center of engineering and applied science to a degree we have never imagined. However, the mystery is why there are no other records of the construction or use of similar devices for centuries after. Was this a unique technology, or was it a type of knowledge that was completely lost? Despite much research, mysteries remain about the Antikythera mechanism, such as who built it and why no other similar devices have been found. The Antikythera mechanism is a powerful reminder that we still have much to learn from the past. It is a masterpiece of ancient engineering, a time machine that takes us back to an era when human ingenuity and creativity reached unimaginable heights. It remains one of the greatest mysteries of all, inspiring scientists to continue to explore and decipher what history has yet to reveal. Easter Island, Rapa Nui, a tiny island in the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles off the coast of South America. Famous for its giant moai statues, the island is a testament to a thriving indigenous civilization that then mysteriously declined. In the 19th century, the first missionaries to Easter Island noted the existence of wooden tablets carved with strange symbols. These wooden tablets were called Rongorongo by the locals, meaning praises or lines to be read. Currently, only about 26 Rongorongo texts are known, scattered in museums and collections around the world. The characters are carved in rows, often alternating between forward and backward, called baustrophodon, in the furrows of the oxen. This means that you read one row from left to right, then turn the stele at 180 degrees to read the next row from left to right, and so on. The characters themselves are stylized images of people, animals, birds, fish, plants, and abstract objects. Each character is meticulously carved. There is no direct dating method for all the stelae. However, based on their historical context and their appearance in early European records, they are believed to have existed some time before Europeans arrived on the island, possibly around the 13th to 18th centuries AD. Is this a complete writing system, capable of recording the spoken language of Rapa Nui, or is it just a collection of mnemonic symbols? There has been much debate among scholars as to whether Rongorongo is a true writing system or simply a mnemonic system to help readers memorize hymns or legends. The repetition and structure of the characters suggest a rule-based system, but there is no clear evidence that it directly records spoken language. To date, only a few characters have been identified as relating to lunar cycles or astronomical symbols. However, the majority of the characters and their combinations remain a complete mystery. Although the spoken language of Rapa Nui still exists, no one on the island knew how to read Rongorongo when the Europeans arrived. If Rongorongo is a true writing system, it would be one of the very few writing systems in the world to have developed independently without the influence of other civilizations. This adds to its historical and scientific value. The disappearance of Rongorongo knowledge is a historical tragedy. In the 19th century, Easter Island faced serious humanitarian disasters, including outbreaks of European disease and raids by Peruvian slave traders. This severely depleted the indigenous population, especially the elderly and clergy who held the knowledge of Rongorongo. As the population declined, knowledge of the writing system gradually disappeared, turning it into a dead language that no one can read. The Rongorongo stele is more than just a collection of characters. It is a window into a lost civilization and a major challenge for linguists and archaeologists. It is clear evidence that the Rapa Nui people developed a culture and possibly a complex writing system in almost complete isolation from the rest of the world. This shows the extraordinary capacity of human creativity even in the most extreme conditions. The inability to decipher Rongorongo has become one of the holy grails of linguistics. It defies traditional methods of decipherment and forces scientists to seek new approaches, perhaps through big data analysis or artificial intelligence. The story of Rongorongo is a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of knowledge and culture. When a civilization declines, not only are its people lost, but their treasure trove of knowledge, history, and language can also be lost forever. Rongorongo remains one of Easter Island's greatest mysteries, alongside the giant moai statues. It continues to be a tantalizing invitation for researchers, hoping that one day these silent symbols will reveal the stories and secrets they have kept hidden for hundreds of years. When we look up at the night sky, we often think of modern telescopes or complex star maps. But what if I told you that thousands of years ago, prehistoric people in Europe created an incredibly sophisticated map of the universe? A dramatic find has forced us to rewrite the history of ancient astronomical knowledge. It is the Nebra Sky Disc. The Nebra Sky Disc was found in July 1999 in the Mittelberg Hills near the town of Nebra, in the state of Saxony-Anhalt, Germany. However, it was not found by archaeologists, but by illegal treasure hunters. They used metal detectors and dug indiscriminately, causing serious damage to the archaeological site. Along with the disc, they also found 2 bronze swords, 2 axes, and a chisel. After a lengthy investigation, the artifact was finally recovered and returned to the authorities in 2002. The Nebra Sky Disc is a circular green bronze disc, approximately 32 centimeters in diameter and weighing nearly 2 kilograms. Its surface is decorated with intricately mounted gold leaf symbols. The most prominent symbols include a large circular sun, a crescent moon, possibly a new or old moon, and a cluster of 7 small dots identified as the Pleiades star cluster. On either side of the disk are 2 golden arcs, representing the horizon, which may indicate the position of the rising and setting sun on the winter and summer solstices. At the bottom of the disk, another golden arc was added later, shaped like a solar boat, a symbol common in many ancient cultures, representing the sun's journey through the sky or the underworld. Analysis of the material and style of manufacture shows that the Nebra Sky Disc dates to around 1600 BC, which is during the European Bronze Age. This makes it one of the oldest known astronomical instruments in the world. The existence of the Nebra Sky Disc has significantly changed the way we view the astronomical knowledge and scientific level of Bronze Age Europeans. Scientists almost unanimously agree that the Nebra Sky Disc was not just a decorative item, but an astronomical instrument with a specific function. It is believed to have been used to harmonize the solar and lunar calendars. The Pleiades star cluster that appears on the disk had important significance in ancient agriculture. When the Pleiades appeared in the evening, it was a sign to start sowing. When they disappeared in the morning, it was time to harvest. The 2 horizon arcs may have been used to mark the position of the rising and setting of the sun on the summer and winter solstices, helping the ancients to determine the seasons and important times of the year. The fact that it combines both astronomical and agricultural elements suggests that it was an essential tool for managing the time and productive activities of the community. Before the discovery of the Nebra Sky Disc, it was generally thought that such sophisticated astronomical knowledge was only available to major civilizations such as Egypt or Mesopotamia. The Nebra Sky Disc demonstrates that communities in Bronze Age Central Europe also possessed a deep understanding of astronomical cycles and were able to turn them into a visual tool. This challenges the notion that peripheral civilizations were less developed scientifically. The Nebra Sky Disc is a powerful testament to the intellectual brilliance of Bronze Age man, a testament that curiosity and the desire to understand the universe are not the prerogatives of the modern age. It forces historians to reevaluate the scientific and abstract thinking of Bronze Age societies in Europe. They were not only skilled craftsmen, but also keen astronomical observers. The scientific, historical, and cultural value of the Nebra Sky Disc is immense. It was recognized by UNESCO as part of the World Documentary Heritage in 2013, affirming its global significance. The Nebra Sky Disc shows that ancient people, with primitive tools, were able to observe the sky, record astronomical phenomena, and use them to serve their daily lives. This is a testament to the great creativity and adaptability of our ancestors. You want to learn something new every day? This channel is for you. Subscribe to get the latest tutorials and lessons.